watching Labubus are everything wrong with society. You mean everything right? Really? All right. Okay. Yeah. This is AI. Oh my god.
Like we are making progress towards a society that refuses to fall victim to mindless consumption, or we are having honest conversations about how young people can't afford houses or have families, something like Labubu comes around and destroys all faith in humanity. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a collection: music, trading cards, comic books, coins, seashells, whatever brings you joy, especially if you are a child. But something about Labubu feels off. It feels less like a genuine collection and more of a hollow trophy that people convince themselves they need because someone with millions of followers attached it to their purse. It's the illusion of status packaged into an evil-looking doll that proves how easily we're manipulated by major corporations. But the crazy part is, this is not the first time something like this has happened, and we're not even embarrassed to admit that we keep falling for it. And as if the amount of money that people are spending on these things isn't shocking enough.
Here's the thing, guys. The whole Labubu thing, I think it's fine if you want to collect it. Or anything in general. If you want to collect something, that's all fine and dandy, right? You want to be a collector, all good. But I personally say you got to be a responsible collector. What that means is pretty much like, it's pretty much don't spend money that you need to use on something you actually need. You know what I mean? Like actual actual needs, not wants. What is going on? Hold up. There you go. Oh, there you go. My bad, guys. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I just feel like nowadays a lot of people spend on money things that they shouldn't be spending on. You know what I mean? Hold up. I'm fixing my camera right now. Look a little bit weird. There you go. But yeah, because you know how like people would rather spend like $100 on Pokemon cards, but $100 to go towards bills or go towards a payment that you need to pay. For example, like your phone, you need to pay off your phone. You need to pay off like I don't know something that needs to be paid off, right? Like your car. But no, you're spending $100 on Pokemon cards. So yeah, that's nice.
There is real crime and violence breaking out because of these dolls. And once you see just how far people are willing to go for Labubu, you'll understand.
Yeah, police recovers 300K worth of Labubu dolls. Collectible figurines were stolen from warehouse. I still don't have one. And you know what the craziest thing is? I was gonna buy a Labubu before it went like crazy. Like before it went crazy up like the fate and all that, because I knew about Labubus for some time because I was into vinyl figures when I always have a chance, right? So vinyl figures are kind of like underground toys that artists create. They're not massively produced. And I got some of them. Like I got the 1000 figure a long ago, and then there's like also like from like Kid Robot. I mean, they have some later, but not really. There's Martian Toys, where they sell the limited toys. And then I looked into Labubu. I was like, oh, I think this character's cool. I'll buy it when I want to, when I get a chance, right? Because they're pretty expensive. And so literally like 2 months later, it went like sold out like crazy. Everything sold out. I even showed it on stream multiple times. Like, oh hey guys, this is what I want to get. And nope, that was gone.
And why this isn't just a dumb toy, it's a symptom of something much worse. Before Labubus became the world's latest big-time collectible, they were just silly sketches made by Kasing Lung. The Hong Kong-born artist spent a lot of his childhood in the Netherlands, becoming infatuated with Nordic fairy tales, especially the elves that were separated as beings of the dark and of the light. In 2015, Lung decided to make his drawings into a short story for children that he called the Monsters Trilogy, telling a simple story about how a child meets a playful tribe of fictional female elves called the Labubu. That's why I wanted to create something that I've always known existed in my heart, he said in an interview. It's so amazing that so many people love it. Shortly after, he released a handful of toys as an artistic trial run, and his fans absolutely loved it. Many people are surprised to find out that the Labubu characters are supposed to be kind-hearted creatures that are eager to help, only for everything to erupt into chaos following their various funny antics. According to Lung, there are over 100 different characters, each with different backstories and relationships, picking on or bullying each other in innocent ways.
Kind of like in a weird way, like Smurfs.
有一個角色，
No, no, no,
其實
no.
佢成日俾流布布欺
I
負。
forgot.
But not everyone interprets Labubu seeming kind-hearted or acting like friendly bullies. For a lot of people, the teeth and sinister smiles really freak them out. I personally find them creepy and have no desire to have any of them for myself, family, or in my home. I don't understand why everyone else thinks it's cute when it's obviously creepy. However, Labubu did create a cult following, which caught the attention of a Beijing-based company called PopMart, a company known for blind box packaging. PopMart and Labubu developed a licensing deal in 2019, and it changed the company forever. Shortly after their partnership was established,
one of the biggest companies out there now.
Of the Labubu miniseries were sold out in 9 seconds on PopMart's online shop, and that was over 6 years ago. So the hype surrounding these toys is not new, it's just new to America. And while the company does have some offerings where you can actually choose which one you're going to purchase, it primarily sells blind box figurines now, making up more than 70% of their business. Blind boxes have been around for
Yeah, it's been a while. It started with in the United States with blind boxes. It started with like pop culture stuff, Dragon Ball. I think it was mostly with anime. I think blind boxes started with anime actually. What I remember. Yeah, I think it started with anime. I'm not 100% sure. Like I don't have a Labubu, but I do have this that I got. Oh, here it is. So this one. Oh, like the twinkle one. You know, it's the ice cream one, I guess. But yeah. But that's about it. I don't have any Labubus or anything like that. Like I said, I do have designer toys. I mean, I haven't gotten them in a while, but I do have some designer figures. Like, let me see. Let me see if I can get one right now. So here it is. So here is the 1000 one right here, guys. It's sold out. Probably could sell this for a lot of extra money. I bought another one that's like blank, so I could paint it. I was gonna join a contest, but I got into an accident. I couldn't do it anymore. But anyways, yeah. So like these are designer figures here, limited edition designer figures. And another person who does designer figures, by the way, is actually MF Doom. If you go to their website, their family usually do limited designer figures as well.
over 40 years in East Asia. It's just that recently they've become America's largest obsession when it comes to collectible toys. The concept is incredibly simple for businesses to get the consumer excited. On the external packaging, the customer can see a few different Labubus they might get. Maybe you will get the pink one, maybe you will get the green one. It even tells you the odds of getting them, 1 in 6. But the key is putting the secret one there. It is grayed out, so it is a total mystery. The secret one has a 1 in 72 chance of being in your purchase. And this could be one of the main reasons that is causing younger generations to collect more than they ever have before. In a survey conducted on 21st century collecting around the world, we've discovered that the average young adult spends almost $2,000 a year on collectibles, and that more and more adults who aren't collectors are now considering joining in on these trends, as 90% of collectors have reported that they participate in activities revolving around these collections. People have unpacking events, forums where they share their collections, and sometimes base their entire personality around something like Labubu because it's a way to connect with the outside world. PopMart even opened their first theme park called Popland, where people can come and celebrate their obsession with these blind box products together. One of the descriptions for the park reads, "There are a few spots to play in the same way as a typical theme park, including an adventure playground filled with climbing walls, nets, mazes, and trampolines. Guests can also feel what it's really like to live in the universe through the augmented reality immersions. And naturally, there are also plenty of places to stop to snap photos and videos for social media, which helped make the Labubus the stars they are today." When trying to get to the bottom of what they call the economics of Labubu, the Wall Street Journal teamed up with psychologist David Bosch to describe the impact blind boxes and Labubu have on consumers. To them, a lot of this has to do with the labels showing a secret prize and the human compulsion to complete a set.
One of the things that the brand can do to keep engagement, to encourage consumers to get a little more excitement out of it, is to label the box
that specific range also creates a set.
It's well-known, well-supported phenomenon that most people, under certain conditions, have a very strong tendency to want to complete a set.
The concept of the blind box has become so popular that thousands of YouTubers have used it as a perceptually fun way to entertain themselves and fans at the same time. A good example would be how Rhett and Link looked for extremely rare toys in a segment of their show, Good Mythical Morning.
Hold on. That was not it. This one's special.
Hold on.
Something.
Hold on. I got the 1 in 100.
You got the Robbie! You got the Robbie!
I can't believe. And Robbie came.
Yeah, I mean, I get it for content creators because again, they make their money back doing these like boxes and stuff, or toy reviewers, stuff like that. Especially if you have a good fan base. So like, I understand why they do it. I understand why they want to complete the set for them. The one thing I don't understand why the general public wants to complete a set, because it's a lot of money, man. You have to spend a lot of money just to get one of them. If you want to get a whole box, like $200, $300. If you want to get the secret, like for sure, it's like $200 or something like that. I don't get it, man. Like I collect my stuff too. Don't get me wrong. Like I collect Pokemon cards when I get a chance. I only specifically choose only illustrated cards. That's it. I don't get anything else. And then I have my comic books, but I don't buy a lot of comic books anymore. I only buy specifically key issue comic books. That's it. The reason why is because there's some comics that I may not want in future, but they'll go up in value because it's a first appearance, that kind of thing. So that's what I do, but I don't collect them often. But when I do, that's what I go for. But again, that's like my like hobbies, you know, that kind of thing. But I don't prioritize any of that over my business or over my bills, obviously, or over all that stuff. So if I had like extra $20 or something like that, like back then, I wouldn't do that. Now I'm not gonna do that for a while. I'm probably gonna do some investments. I know it sounds crazy, but you know, I gotta start thinking about other stuff, and then it's just collecting. Even though collecting could be quote unquote investments, which I do get that, but I also I believe in like diversifying your portfolio, that kind of thing.
With a drum. What in the world? This is the most fun I've had in years.
You can see that these blind box collectibles have an interesting impact on people. Even if they don't know what the toys are, why they're interesting, special, or even if they don't like the way that they look, once people realize they are rare, they start to attach value that isn't actually there. Pop Mart and Labubu's business model mostly relies on this. Nothing creates hype more than the illusion of scarcity, the old classic, low supply, high demand. However, what really started this Labubu craze was another classic modern day marketing effort.
By the way, Labubu Pop Mart, they could make as many of these plushies and destroy the market, by the way. But guess how they do it? To not destroy the market for obvious reasons. So what I know is that they do limited drops. That's it. They do a limited drop on figures and stuff. And then as soon as what do you call it? As soon as they sold out, they'll do another limited drop and a month or two later. That's what they do. That's how they keep like the hype and the interest of these plushies or figures, whatever. Because yeah, you cannot get them. You cannot get them. Let's see if I could like get one. Let's see. So right now the Twinkle Tinkle are the easiest things to get right now, right? But you want to get Labubus. That's the only brand that Pop Mart has right now that is very hard to get right now out of everything. To this day, there's no drops right now for them. As of right now, there's no drops. They're just saving it, but yeah, they do look like monthly drops. But they can easily just have them open all the time, destroy the market, and then they'll destroy like the rarity of it. They'll destroy like getting them, all that kind of stuff. They'll destroy all of it. They can easily do it if they want to, but they won't. they won't do it.
For paying a celebrity to endorse the product. Because just a few months ago, one of the world's most famous K-pop stars, simply known as Lisa, sent the world into a frenzy after she confessed her love for Labubu. Lisa is a Thai singer, rapper, dancer, and actress who became the most followed K-pop idol on Instagram, but she's been seriously climbing the industry ladder since 2016 after joining the girl group Blackpink. By now, K-pop isn't just a genre, it's a full-blown global movement.
Yes.
Streaming has skyrocketed, with
in the recent
Spotify
movie?
reporting a staggering
Oh my God.
362% increase in K-pop streams worldwide over the past 5 years. The top 100 K-pop artists globally amassed a jaw-dropping 90 billion on-demand streams with a 42% growth year over year. K-pop! They've also developed some of the most die-hard cult-like fans on the internet. Fans will create entire Twitter accounts dedicated to a single idol, posting hundreds of updates a day like unpaid publicists. They'll organize mass streaming parties where thousands of people loop the same song 24/7 just to inflate the chart numbers. Some even spend hours translating interviews, subtitling videos, and archiving every second of a singer's life. To outsiders, it looks obsessive. It looks like the musician is at the center of a fan's entire identity, and sometimes they will attack anyone who criticizes them. But to the fans, it's just loyalty to their favorite star. And Lisa is
By the way, it's literally it's like Swifties, but with K-pop. That's it. It is Swifties, but with K-pop. Okay, guys? That's what it is. They're literally obsessed. So the reason why I know about K-pop, I know about like K-dramas, whatever you want to call them, is because when I was in my accident, I was like not listening to the music, but I was looking into a lot of like the K-pop drama stuff, right? And bro, this K-pop phenomenon is insane, dude. I mean, recently they released K-pop Demon Hunters. I think that's what it's called. I forgot exactly what it's called, but those songs are still trending to this day. What I mean by that is like so I post shorts twice a week, right? At least about twice a week. And I usually use songs that are very popular in my videos for obvious reasons, right? To get the attention, get a chance to get into algorithm, that kind of stuff, right? Because the music is just to get people's attention, and hopefully the art, it gets people to like subscribe to my channel and stick by my channel, right? That's the whole point of it. Anyways, I noticed that the Demon Hunter one songs are still like some of the top songs. I still see them to this day. I use them sometimes, and I don't use them all the time because it's just like, bro, this is insane. Like, this is goddamn insane, dude. But yeah. And then Lisa, she is, as it comes out, like she's a very materialistic person, like very materialistic. Like, hey man, she's rich. She could do what she wants, right? Hey, like it's all good. I'm not saying that's not like she's a bad person or like that. No. Anyways. So like every time she like always does something, she always wear like a product or something like that. Again, I went on a rabbit hole, guys. I went on a rabbit hole when I was like accident, watching anything, everything. And so yeah, and then I did stumble upon the video that she talked about the Labubus. And then she had like a big ass like Labubu, like it was like a 5 feet Labubu. I was like, what, bro? I literally saw that one. I think they were selling for like $100. I think they upped the price now because of how big of the brand has gotten. But yeah, I remember seeing that for $100. I didn't buy it, obvious reason, because I don't want to like spend that much. Like, holy shit. But yeah, dude,
arguably the most famous of them all. Lisa's been in ads for PlayStation 5, Louis Vuitton, partnered with Bose, and has been a global ambassador for Celine and MAC Cosmetics. So whenever she was asked to share her secret obsession with Vanity Fair's YouTube channel, anything she chose to promote was going to turn into pure gold. And in November of 2024, her obsession of choice was Pop Mart collectibles.
Hi, this is Lisa, and this is my secret obsession. Whoa, this is Pop Mart. It's a blind box, so you don't know what's inside. Can I open it? Oh my, how do you get this? This is really rare and hard to find. Every collection, they have like the rare one. It's really hard to get. We call them secret. So I always wish that I got secret.
One by one, Lisa
Could you use up to $800? Find it at BioLife. Up to $800 is waiting for
Lisa unwrapped her blind boxes, getting more and more excited with every new figurine. But what got everyone's attention were the large Labubu she
Yeah, I
held in
told
each
you.
arm.
I told
She described
you.
the impact Pop Mart had on her friend and how she couldn't stop herself from buying to unlock new characters.
We call her Labubu. Okay? Oh my god, this is so heavy. Ah, one has a tail, one doesn't. So this, Simomo, and this is Labubu.
This is like the original one. The one on the left is like the original.
Yes. I just got into Pop Mart like early this year, and I learned about this from one of my close friend in Thailand. And when I went to Thailand, she was like, "Oh, let's go to Pop Mart," and I was like, "What is Pop Mart?" Like, what? And she's like, "Oh, it's like, it's just sell toys and stuff. Like, we should go and check." And then I went with them. And I was like, to be honest, I was not into it at all. I was like, no, I'm not gonna spend my money on this. And then they came out and they were like, oh my God, like the one that I want, like it's sold out, it's so hard to get. And I was like, is that hard to get?
Told you.
They
materialistic.
Showed me a bunch of stuff, and as soon as I got them, I go crazy. It's like I spent all of my money.
What's really sad is that people couldn't tell that this entire video is
it was
just
not
one
real.
large paid advertisement,
Yeah.
but it worked. After the seal of approval from Lisa, Pop Mart's share price
Because one of the things that I guess people didn't notice, and I guess I was not gonna say anything, but so again, I think she does collect these things. I'm not 100% sure how obsessed she is, but it's like, anyways, when she unveiled, like, this is my secret obsession, she unveiled it, and then she was surprised of what it was. What? You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it was a paid advertisement, and it worked. It completely worked.
has grown by almost 600%
Everybody got
in just
played.
1 year. Somehow, this creepy-looking figurine with confusing appeal has managed to enter the hearts and minds of some of the richest celebrities all around the world. Korean artist V was seen walking around with Labubu in Seoul. Rapper Central C and Dua Lipa have been seen with theirs attached to bags. Kim Kardashian posted an entire collection of them on Instagram, and Madonna received a Labubu birthday cake that is quite frankly one of the most terrifying-looking things on the planet. And if celebrities aren't the ones purchasing Labubus for themselves, they're receiving them as gifts from friends or family members. Like how football legend David Beckham posted an image of an apparently rare find that he received from his daughter. These celebrity advertisements have been one of the key driving forces for Labubu's current obsession. And I feel like we must address the elephant in the room about how this thing looks incredibly evil. The sharp teeth, the unsettling grin, the slightly furrowing
It's just the
eyebrows.
monster
You
design.
can't help but notice this toy has a slightly demonic feel. No wonder why these Hollywood elites love this toy. It represents them perfectly. Celebrities have always mastered the art of appearing glamorous enough to worship, but approachable enough to trust. They present themselves as icons of beauty and innocence, while behind the scenes they're laughing, squeezing every last dollar from the people who idolize them. Labubu is just the perfect prop for that illusion. A sinister little mascot hiding in plain sight, smiling as it drains your bank account. Across all different social media platforms, everyone and their mother has an unboxing video for Pop Mart's new favorite product, picking them up from one of the company's 500 plus stores or 2,000 plus vending machines around the world, eager to record themselves unboxing one for the first or
There's vending
300th
machine?
time.
Right. Here we go. Y'all ready for this? No. It's him! He's gorgeous! Oh my god! Can you believe?
The doll seemingly is no longer about whether you actually like the thing, it's about proving you belong to the exclusive club of people who have one. The doll itself is meaningless, but the association is priceless. People have convinced themselves that having one signals wealth and exclusivity, even if all they did was pay retail price for a hunk of
Guys, you know why I got my Twinkle Twinkle? It's very simple. I noticed that people in Anime Expo, again, this is Anime Expo, were approaching more people that had the plushie because it was the way for them to come talk to them. Dead ass, not lying. And so I was like, you know what? let me just have it on my regular backpack and see what happens. Because like it's not just Labubu, it's like all the characters too. Like all the characters. Obviously, Labubu is like the most popular one. But bro, these prices are so goddamn insane, man. Is crazy how much money people will spend on these Labubus. $60 to $70 for just one now. You cannot get it through like Pop Mart, like mobile, which is almost impossible because of bots and stuff like that. It is crazy. But I want people to keep in mind this is gonna break. Every fad, everything that became popular, everything that's trending, all this kind of stuff, it's gonna I don't know what that means. Shadow. From a band? I have no idea. I don't watch the song. uh but yeah, what was it? The Beanie Babies? Like I think it's gonna last longer than Beanie Babies, but I think the market will break eventually soon. With the Labubus. I think it will eventually will break.
Vinyl.
I am the owner of the famous 24 karat gold Labubu.
And of course, now many buyers are trying to justify their purchase by saying it'll be worth more someday. But if history has taught us anything, it's that collectibles rarely pay off like people think they will. If you look back at your childhood, odds are you collected a little something. Maybe you did it because you loved it, or maybe you did it because everyone else was doing it. But ultimately, it didn't matter because it was just part of growing up. For me, it was Pokemon cards, WWE wrestlers, and Hot Wheels. For others, it could have been lunchboxes, Barbies, Beyblades, rocks, or literally anything else. But now, collectors have become sellers. Collections are no longer to express their admiration for a passion or interest, but to auction them off for hundreds, thousands, or maybe even millions of dollars. They see collections as an investment, a way to get rich quickly. In fact,
because this happened because of COVID. I believe the whole number of like resellers thing went up because of COVID. Yeah, most of these people are not fans of whatever they're getting. Like Pokemon cards, you see all those vendors, majority of them are not fan of Pokemon cards. I'm just gonna say it. I feel majority of them are not fan of Pokemon cards. They just want to make the money. It is what it is. I'm not a fan of it, but it is what it is. Because there's like these I think it's memes, but maybe some truth into it. There's like you know how like sneakers and shoes were like a big thing when that died down. A lot of people said they went into Pokemon cards. They just became a fan of Pokemon cards. They're like the fan for Pokemon. Like all the people that were big fans of Pokemon cards around the COVID time, they're not a big fan of it no more, right? They moved on. But some of them became just sellers. They started selling to the community. And well, a lot of them really do take advantage of people. They sell blind boxes, blind bags. We want to call it for like $200 to give you like 5 packs or whatever, maybe one rare. I feel like that's bullshit. And yeah, so like they're just overselling like with pricing like crazy. I remember getting those regular EBT boxes for like $40. You get 8 packs for $40 and some extra stuff. I was like, I enjoy that. I like that. It's not that expensive overall compared to buying a booster box, whatever. Now they're like average of $80 to $100. It's insane. They doubled to triple the price now. Thank you, thank you, resellers. Thank you. Resellers expected to rise as a key trend, which hopefully this fucking trend dies down where nobody will no longer be buying this kind of stuff. Wait, there we go. Have I been muted this whole time? Continue.
40% of so-called collectors have openly expressed how they intend to sell their collections as they increase in value. And of course, there are tons of collections out there that have increased in value over time, but Labubus are pretty new, and they're starting to seem like more of a flash-in-the-pan trend that is reminiscent of Beanie Babies. In the late 1990s, Beanie Babies weren't just plush toys, they were marketed as miniature fortunes in the making. Ty Inc.'s strategy of artificially restricting supply by limiting retail orders and frequently retiring certain models created a frenzy where $5 stuffed animals were believed to become the next gold rush. At the peak of the mania, Beanie Babies accounted for roughly 10%.
Which is still true to some way. The only ones that are rare and sold very well, guys, are the rare figures, the rare Beanie Babies. those you can still sell. Think of it this way. A collection is not worth a lot if you just buy general stuff. For example, the Funko Pops. If you buy a regular Funko Pop, it ain't gonna go up in value in the future. It's gonna be like the same or lower. If you buy an exclusive Funko Pop, way more exclusive than nowadays, because like again, Hot Top, whatever, like they're not really whatever, right? Anyways, if you buy more of exclusive Funko Pops, then then those have a bigger chance of like selling at a good price. If you have like a comic books, if you buy a lot of comic books, yeah, they could go like someone could go up in price, even the regular, but a lot of them will just go down in value or be the same, right? The ones that will have more chance of going up in value are the key issues, where a key thing happens. Most likely like a first appearance. At least those have a bigger chance to go up in value in the future, right? Like those are bigger chances. So I think Labubus in general are gonna go downhill, except for the secrets, right? For obvious reasons, because there are less of them out there in the world. So the secrets, those will still keep their value for the most part, but the other ones are gonna be like whatever's. That's usually how everything goes, really. It's the same thing with Pokemon cards.
Percent of eBay's sales. We even saw full-grown adults separating Beanie Babies during a divorce. But all those people who hoarded these rare toys were disappointed to find out that they weren't worth anything. It doesn't matter that sellers listed them for thousands of dollars online. Even still to this day, you can find listings for hundreds of thousands of dollars, but things are only worth what someone is actually willing to pay. And the harsh reality was that nobody was buying. Not even the most reckless spenders could be convinced that these toys were rare or valuable. So people ended up selling their Beanie Baby collections for dollars, sometimes even cents at garage sales, which drove the value down even further. What was once perceived as a
also, it's because it matters with the quantity. If you have too many, that's gonna destroy the market. Look at Funko Pop. They're struggling to make it happen again. That's why nowadays in Funko they have limited drops only now. They're only doing limited drops, like 1,000 of these, and that's
life-changing investment turned out to be nothing more than overpriced clutter. This is almost a fabric of American culture at this point. You'll see shows like Antiques Roadshow, Pawn Stars, or American Pickers, where people drag out dusty items from their attic and pray they've been sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. The fantasy is irresistible. The idea that some random object you already own could secretly be worth thousands. It's the modern-day lottery ticket, except instead of scratching numbers, you're banking on nostalgia and rarity. But the uncomfortable truth is that most collectibles never hit the jackpot. For every person who sells a first edition comic for 6 figures, there are millions more who are left with boxes of junk that they swore would pay off one day. Even though we're still at the peak of the craze, occasionally you might see videos online where
told you. Like the key issues is where it's at. If you want to buy something of any collection, any collectible, it's always good to have the key issues or the secrets or whatever. Those are have a way better chance for investment advice or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, those are a way better chance of selling more money in the future than just a general product. Like the Labubu stuff, all the general Labubus, they're gonna go up down in value. Your stuffed toys, most likely those are gonna go down in value. So yeah, that's what these people are saying. Like the general stuff is gonna go down, because nobody's gonna want them. You're gonna go to the next thing, etc. You know, the next phase. So when people are just overly buying too much stuff right now, like in my opinion, even though I'm selling, like I sell my prints, I sell all this kind of stuff. But the reason why I don't make a lot of them, it seems like a lot right now, but the reason why I don't make a lot of prints is because it's just I don't want to overdo it. Like, you know what I mean?
a collector recognizes that they might be spending a little too much money on Labubus, but then you'll find investment gurus in denial justifying the purchases in the comments. They're actually worth more than $120, so you got lucky. The scary part is, because of the Labubu popularity, we're no longer just talking about overpriced toys, we're talking about an obsession that's bleeding into real life in some very dark ways. Like how parents will give their own children a choice between hundreds of dollars or a Labubu blind box box, only for the kid who receives the money to almost break down in tears, even though they end up buying a giant Labubu with the money they were given. Now, to give the kids the benefit of the doubt, they're kids. They don't know the value of money. Of course, they want a toy. However, there is no excuse for the full-grown men who will buy up as many Labubu products as they can in order to resell them to children and other collectors for a much higher rate. And they have the audacity to claim that they're just passionate collectors.
We get a lot of slack on Instagram, but because of how much stock we have, oh, you took all our stock, we're collected and we want a box and you're triple the price and this and that. But unfortunately, people don't understand how a business model works. You know,
No. People perfectly understand how the business model works. You try and squat on as much inventory as possible so there's scarcity, and then people have FOMO, so they want to make sure they get it, so they'll pay the extra markup that you just drive the price to the roof.
They came and shopped with me 2 weeks ago, bought Labubus for the kids. Someone stole her Labubu from her bag.
You're kidding.
Yes, at school.
Tough.
And then I speak to my daughter.
Labubu robbery.
My daughter's got 7
Capital
on her name.
punishment
She's
required.
got every generation.
You're stealing off kids.
Bro, it's not normal. Not normal. So yeah, I told her take all the Labubus.
Unfortunately, it is very normal now. It's super normal now.
When grown adults are exploiting children for profit, it's only a matter of time before the obsession spills into outright theft and violence. In Southern California, a small group of teenagers were suspected of breaking into a warehouse and stealing some inventory. When the Chino SoCal police received a warrant to raid the house the supposed thieves were staying at, they weren't looking for electronics or jewelry. They were searching for about 14 boxes of Labubu collectibles that the alleged thieves were intending on reselling on the black market. According to the report, the cops recovered $30,000 worth of the furry figurines, which usually retail for about $30 each. In the same story, the LA Times noted that the prices for Labubu due to scarcity are reaching all-time highs. The figurines are usually sold at Pop.
Yeah, I told you. A lot of these like resellers, they're not actual collectors, they're just resellers, just taking advantage of the people, of kids, all that kind of stuff. People say it is what it is, that they could get it, it is what it is, which I do understand at a certain point, but it doesn't mean, like, I don't like it, you know, I hate it. I really don't like it, honestly. Like, I get it if you want to, like, sell some stuff, but, again, I just don't like it, but, you know, it is what it is.
Art stores and create a fervor whenever new ones are released. A child-sized Labubu sold at auction for $150,000 according to media reports, and limited edition monsters can retail for $150. But the criminality doesn't stop at theft. There's now a growing scheme where people will make counterfeit Labubu, now named Lafufus, that is becoming such a large problem that people are making instructional videos to help customers inspect Labubus like diamonds at a jewelry store to avoid being scammed.
Every Labubu should have exactly 9 teeth. No more, no less. Like this one, you can count. It has 10 teeth. Here are a few other ways we can tell. If you look at the original Labubu's complexion, she has kind of a peachy pink tone to her skin, whereas if you look at the Lafufu, this one in particular has a paler complexion.
PopMart told us you can also identify a Labubu by their high-quality finishes, such as the stitching and the paint job.
One obvious way you can tell a Lafufu from a Labubu is the spelling on the tags. Labubu will say PopMart on the tag, whereas this specific Lafufu says poor mapped. I do like it when they're very obvious.
Whether PopMart will admit it or not, they're definitely enjoying all forms of press, even if it's bad. All publicity is good publicity in the world of politics and sales, because at the end of the day, we only have ourselves to blame. Tim Dillon hilariously summarized the depressing reality of the Labubu obsession in America.
The Labubu is the perfect symbol of the economy that we've created and the cultural value system that we have. It is a Chinese fentanyl-stuffed voodoo doll that is being exported to America. Little things like the Labubu become an important status symbol for people who have given up on owning a home, having a family, having a job, or a meaningful life. The adults, their eyes get big. You've got one of them. I want one of them. What? A family? No, that demon doll. That troll. That critter.
1 minute, we're having honest conversations about how young people...
Look, I think it's fine to if you want to have one, but I think it's freaking weird if you want to have like 10, 20 of them, especially because of how expensive they are, right? If you want to get one, I think it's perfectly fine, right? One is not going to hurt you, but I think it's going to hurt you when you become obsessed with them, when you're overly buying, when you're overly consuming a product, right? That's where I think, in general, it's like, okay, look at your stuff. Do you really need more stuff? You know what I mean? Like, don't overconsume on products, guys. Like, I remember when I started collecting comic books in like my first 2 years of collecting comic books, bro. I remember I was buying every comic that I wanted at that time, and I was just buying them, because I wanted to read the story. I like the characters, I like the art, etc. Right? But then I was looking at my room. I was like, bro, I'm literally over consuming right now. So that's why I even looked up a YouTube video. It came out like a suggestion. See, I'm getting influenced by YouTube still. It was like why I stopped collecting comic books, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm very curious about it because I was literally thinking about that too, right in my brain. And well, they pretty much said like I start like I didn't want to have boxes upon boxes upon boxes. One, they said they'd have the room for it, and three, and they felt like it was just getting too much. So what they decided to do is sell as many books as they can, as many books, and they just kept the key issues. It went from like 10 boxes into like 2 or 3 boxes of key issues that are actually probably worth money, are actually worth having for the most part, right? So now the overconsumption turned into 2 or 3 boxes, which is still a lot, but it was controlled in a much better way. And I was like, oh, that's actually smart. Because you could read like comics online, you could subscribe to them, whatever you want to do, but you could read them online now. So I decided, oh, the stories I want to read, I'll most likely read them online. If I really want to read them, then I'll buy like the comic book set, right? For example, the Predator, the Kills from Over Universe. I'm only collecting that right now because I'm like it's not gonna be worth anything. But it's only like a 4 or 5 issue, and that's it. It's not gonna be like 10, 20, 30, 50 issues of what I know of right now. But yeah, that's why I said, oh, I'm just gonna get that. Anyways, so that's why my boxes turn into like 2 short boxes nowadays, and that's it. It's no longer big consuming. It's not taking a big like space in my room. I'm not overspending money on this kind of stuff, and I think I did it. I think it was one of the best decisions I did, not only for like space and all that, but also financially. I got a control of my addiction of buying every single comic book. So that's what I would say. Like, if you want to want to get into comics, guys, I always recommend like get the graphic novels or like omnibuses, stuff like that. And then if you want to get like I recommend getting the key issues, just because like uh those can be worth it more in the future, or it could be like get your money back in the future at least. If you don't want them no more. Um, so again, there's multiple ways of doing it now, and yeah, I don't know. I feel like sometimes we do overconsume, and I've been there. Now I'm like a lot more calm on what I buy because yeah, I mean, one, it's like we have limited money nowadays, right? We have literally almost no money to spend on things we want for the most part. Only like very few months. I'd say conventions are still doing pretty good, but they gone down a little bit though, because now people have like so much money they just want to spend nowadays. They're more like, do I really want this? I really want that. So that's why like artist alley stuff, guys. In my personal opinion, I think it's gonna shrink down like in the next 2 years, 100%. I think the reason why is because I think the way that's gonna shrink down is not the convention shrinking down the artist alley. It's just the artist gonna be making a lot less money now. So that's what's gonna happen. It's already happening a little bit right now in certain conventions. Because the conventions they make their money with the booth fee, right? They make the money, so they don't care if you make money or not. So I don't think they're gonna shrink that. I think like the shrink is gonna be from the artists. It's like it's gonna be more local artists than overseas artists or out of town artists or stuff like that. I think it's gonna become more local because there's gonna be many artists who want to like go fly to New York instead of a booth there and spend a lot of money, like an average of like $800 to $1,000 average on like to have a booth at New York Comic Con because you have to pay the booth fee, the airplane ticket, food, hotel, etc. So yeah, man, we're in a weird stage right now with consumption of products right now. Um, I'll just say, what people say, or people told me before. If you buy it two times or 3 times, will you be okay? If you cannot, if you're not gonna be okay if you buy it twice, that you should not be buying it. I think it's 3 times, actually. 3 times, guys. Right? If you cannot buy it 3 times, you should not be buying the product at all. I think that's what it was, right? Unless I'm wrong. Anyways, a good video. I think like the main objective of this video for me personally is like just be more careful how you collect stuff. Like I get it, collection is fun. It's a good hobby, but just be careful. Don't overdo it. Don't get too addicted with it.
Can't start a family, buy a 2-bedroom house, or even spend time with those that we care about. And in the next, we have hundreds of thousands of people going into debt to buy a trinket because their favorite celebrity said it was cool. But as I stare more at these evil-looking little things, I can't help but recognize that it's the perfect reflection of a system that thrives on manipulation, that manufactures scarcity, that entices children and adults to pour money into something that has absolutely no value. The doll looks demonic because in a way, it's a symbol of how dark consumer culture has become. And the scariest part isn't the doll itself, it's what it says about us. That our society has to be this desperate, this easily hypnotized for something so empty to become such a massive success.
Streaming looks like...
Damn, dude. Good video. But yeah, I mean, like, again, these Labubus or blind boxes are just loot boxes in real life, and people hate them on games, so why don't people don't hate them in real life? You're buying something, you may not get what you want. That makes perfect sense. These are done. Wake me up. I can own a link into a JPEG of one. Ruin society. Also, this video is sponsored by gambling companies. Sign up for free money. Yeah, don't gamble, guys. I didn't even see a sponsor on this one. People fit into rampant communism and then immediately after complain about how bad the economy is. Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, as much as, again, I'm a reseller, right? I sell my products with like paintings and stuff like that, commissions, all kind of things, right? I add into this thing, right? But obviously mine's not like the Labubu's, loot boxes, stuff like that. But I always say, I will always stand by this, even me as a seller. Do not buy if you can't afford it. Do not buy if there's something more important you need to pay off, aka your home, aka your car. You know, like that's more important. Pay off those things first, and then maybe you can start getting that stuff. That's just me personally, right? And I messed up. Don't get me wrong. I'm a hypocrite because I bought certain things that I should have just put the money into paying off my phone. Now, my phone is almost paid off, right? Because I just fixed the screen, by the way. And my phone's almost done paid off. But it would have been done by now if I just paid this off instead of getting stupid stuff at the time. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Again, I'm doing better. Like, I'm not even going to buy anything, guys. I'm not buying anything. Oh, actually, that's a lie. Fucking A. But they're coming out to, like, end of the month or something. Or next year. Which is the... What do you call it? The SR figures for Marvel's Capcom, the Cyclops and Spider-Man. Judge me. It is what it is. And also, I did bought the Marvel's Capcom art book. Okay, it's my favorite franchise ever. But here's the thing that I do, guys. Here's the difference, though. I sold my other collectibles in order to get the money to buy those collectibles. That's what I did. All right? That's the difference. Like, literally, my collection that I had all together has straight down from like what was it, like 2 full shelves into let's see, 1 shelf pretty much. That's it. There's 1 shelf there, but there's like the one in the bottom is like empty. There's like nothing there. But yeah, anyways, it's 1 now. So I sold like half of everything. Right? I sold most of my comic books too as well. So it's like that's what I do, guys. Like if I want to get a collectible, guys, I gotta look at my stuff that I have that I can sell, and I'll just sell it. I'll just sell it because I'd rather just do that. I don't want to have I don't want too many things. I don't like that anymore. I really don't.